The pleasure of health. Thanks for being here today. I'm going to make a video on what I've gotten in the Akash over the last couple of weeks. And I haven't gone into the Akash every day. Much of what I've been getting to is personal, and Mercury is retrograde. So those are some of the reasons I have not been putting out videos from the weather reports that I was doing previously these days, because it hasn't been as consistent for the collective. That being said, I do think that we're almost at this collapsed accordion period of time where we are integrating everything that our soul has ever done in many lifetimes, maybe not just here on Earth, but other iterations of living out different trajectories that have similar themes, and that we are now being given the opportunity to resolve some of our impediments that we've had in our way previously. And if we all take the opportunity to consciously look at what has kept us in bondage to something that's outside of ourselves, then we can collectively ascend to a better way of being as entities, as humans, and that, there's life force out there beyond humanity that wants this for us. And given this is this dualistic playing field, there are forces that are working against that goal, so as to either help us or to hurt us based on how we utilize that force that's in our face, working what feels to be against us. So that seems to be the theme that I can conceptualize as what's been coming up of recent. It's more about this spiritual warfare, and less, it seems, about any specific place. But I think so above, so below, everything that's going to happen is going to happen literally and figuratively to and for us. So back on November 23rd, I basically saw like these negative ETs and how I've been held bondage to forces in the past, and how in this visual I got in the Akash, Jesus said, only you can break free. Only you can break free of this bondage that, in essence, you're allowing yourself to be held in. And then I was taken to a scene where I was an older woman. I had a splinter from a piece of wood, and I was digging in like a root cellar for a potato. And it was like the past and the present were merging in that time and space. The clock is ticking, and then the time stopped. So it was almost like I was experiencing the past and present together. And I feel like I was in Germany, and I was a spy, maybe working against the Nazis. I think that is a theme that seems to come up for me, that I definitely had some tie, I think, with World War II. And I'm not a spy now, because I'm, actively like seeing what I'm getting out in the ethers. So it's not like working, pretending to be one thing or another. But I do think that I'm working on behalf of the good in trying to help free people and humanity. So it's kind of a similar thing, possibly, to maybe what I've done in past lives. Jesus said, I'm here, follow your heart. Wait a second. Sorry. I think I'm on the wrong page. as I was seeing this scene in Germany in the past, I had a heaviness in my gut. And then I heard a gunshot outside, literally outside my house. And one of my neighbors down the road, I live kind of in a semi-rural area. I don't know, like he might shoot some little, I don't know what he's shooting, but he shoots his gun sometimes. And when I felt this heaviness in my gut, I heard this gunshot outside, and I got a sense that I had been a spy and I was killed for it. And then I go back to the Middle Ages as a past life, and I'm like an herbalist, a witch type person, and I was definitely be had some kind of like was held back by men who were in my life, I felt like at that time. And then I was taken to like the American Revolution, and I was there maybe in like an army. And then I said, what is the most meaningful life that I've experienced? And they said this one. Then on let's see, December 1st, I saw like green, and I was told like the green way, and then I saw the fairies, and they were coming out of hiding, and they were showing me who they were. And I saw like the ambassador of the fairies, and they showed me like their space, their village, and I felt really humbled that they were showing me where they lived. And they said, you can join us at any time. You can come, and you can come to our space at any time. And I tell them I have to stay here where I'm at. And they say, that's okay. But then they quickly like closed up shop and they went away from the scene. Let's see. They said in the third dimension, there's going to be continued strife. It's not done yet. They said it's coming to a close soon, but it will continue for a while. And I said, obviously through 2024, and they said yes, to decorate my space, live in the moment. Carpe diem, Jesus said, enjoy yourself. Then I was told to eat less. And they said some things will change. And then I saw a wheel with ridges, like on a machine, changing directions. Now, what's really interesting about that, I will tell you in one moment. My dog's barking, so let me attend to him first. So I'm going to read that again. Some things will change. See this wheel with ridges, like a machine changing directions. So that was on the 1st of December, which was a Sunday. On the 5th of December, Thursday, I had a flat tire. And I went to this metaphysical shop that was closing because they were badly damaged because of the hurricane. And these women who have owned it for years decided to just close up shop and not fix all that was in disrepair. So I get to this place, and I look at my tire gauge on my dashboard, and it's basically I have a flat tire. And to make a long story short, I could not get anyone to come and fix it. I upped my AAA, told them I'd pay the extra $60 if they could send someone out. And they kept saying that they're trying to find someone. Then I was trying to find someone on my own. Sorry, my dog's drinking some water in the background. He's making quite a bit of noise. So I spent over 2 hours in my car just waiting. And after 2 hours, there was no hope that they were going to send anyone from AAA. I mean, they were working on finding someone. And I was calling around Asheville, and they were like, oh, I've got somebody 2 hours away, or I'm already booked up for the next couple of hours. And I was feeling pretty hopeless. And I thought, well, what do I do? Just leave my car in this parking lot of this place that's going to be closing? And then, take an Uber home and come back tomorrow. So I just said a prayer. I just surrendered. I was like, just let it go, just surrender. Second time I've had to do this recently. And I just let it go. I said this prayer. And then, sure enough, as soon as I let it go, a man knocked on my window, probably no more than 5 minutes later. And he said, "Oh, the women in the shop said that you have a flat tire. I wish I knew sooner. I can help you fix it. Do you have a donut?" So we get the donut out, and together he and I fixed this tire. But interestingly, accidentally, one of the, I don't think it was anybody's fault. I think it was just the way it was on the lug, um, screw, whatever it's called, broke. So I took my car in, I drove my car in and left it, and I was told I needed new tires. So I said, yes, go ahead, please put new tires on. I need this little screw fixed, which, they're never cheap. And the next day they said, yes, come get your car. So somebody, friend dropped me off, and I went and got my car, and then I got it home, and the same tire spot, new tire, but same spot, I had another flat. So I thought, well, this is weird. My gauge is showing that I don't have air, and it looks like I don't really have as much air as I should. Sure enough, it was a defective tire. So anyway, it's just kind of interesting about the wheel. Soon things will change. See this wheel with ridges, like a machine changing direction. So I think a lot of symbolism. I knew there was a spiritual meaning for this. I said back on December 1st, will people start to wake up? And I was told, yes, they will have to. Humbly bow yourself to the Almighty's ways. It is the way. There's a principle of peace. Your life will soar. Soon you will be awakened. There is a junction between now and 2026 when many of you will awaken. So they said time to ready yourself. Then I feel like my original place is from the inner earth. And I'm reassured that not to worry about things, that there are many realities playing out in people's heads. So many universal realities that are now playing out, which doesn't honestly, for me, seem that comfortable hearing, although I definitely would love to step into the best timeline. At the same time, I don't know about you, but there's a part of me that just I just want to be in this timeline. I just want to have things feel and seem the way they used to. And I get a sense that things will not feel the same, and already for many of us don't feel the same as they did, let's say 10, 20 years ago, or even 5 years ago. So during my meditation around that same day, I saw the date 1870 coming up. And I looked in history during that time period. Diphtheria was a problem. There were women freedoms for people of color, Blacks, African Americans in this country, and women. It was part of it was a time of freedom for people. Let's see, I saw Brussels. Brussels came up. I think that might have been personal though, because I went to Brussels a few years ago. Let's see, what else? A ball of thunder, a baby. The ball will roll soon. Watch for the direction. Step out of the way. I said, can we step into another timeline? And they said, only if enough of you do it. Prepare for what is next. The engines are starting. Be the change you want to see in the world. And then on Monday, the 2nd, let's see, to work on forgiveness. Seize the day, the whispers of your soul, find time to cultivate peace in your heart. I saw like a wind sweeping out darkness, debris, and dust. Clear out the dust for the Tomorrowlands. And then I saw these red eyes watching me like I was being watched. And then I felt myself trapped in a box. And I said, how do I free myself? And they said, you don't, you surrender to the will of the God force. So that box reminds me now, this again was before my flat tire, of being in my car and feeling like I was sitting in a box. And then in the Akash, I saw myself taken to this magnificent garden scene. And it just felt very, very peaceful. The gray mantis ET group came through. And what I read about them is they're not necessarily good or bad. They have their own agenda, but they also are involved with, some of them are not of the highest vibration and some of them are on higher vibe, but they're involved with genetic manipulation. They definitely are into more like transhumanism type stuff. So I got a sense that maybe some of them were working more on a positive to arrest the potential of anarchy. And then I saw Elon Musk working from above on his own, with his own contingency, almost like he's got his own group of entities that he's parlaying with somewhere besides this stratosphere. And let's see. I'm told to write, to speak more in the future of what I know, not to be afraid of making mistakes. Syria, Turkey, Yemen, Istanbul in particular came up, Frankfurt, Paris. At that point on the 2nd, the United States seemed kind of quiet. I felt like Donald Trump will try to do what he can do in his own way. Narnia came up. Narnia. I have some kind of tie with what Narnia is based on. And it's that I kind of came up with a few things. One was based on World War II, and another was based on Christianity, that there was some it was analogous to both of those. I'm told you'll get there. Then on the 3rd, you're at a spot where you can make inroads with your soul's development. And as you're listening to this, I really feel like this is not just my message, it's your message, that we're working on our souls and we're making some positive development. We're working on past lives when we were giving our power away. There are greener pastures for everyone. Follow the road to your truth, your sovereignty in this paradigm of existence. Love is everywhere. The nuggets of joy, go find them. I go to this ET village where the mantis were, and then to the void. And then I go like up and around, and I kind of am falling, and Jesus catches me, and he's basically say, where are you going? You create your own impediments. Love yourself. You're doing fine. Again, Istanbul, the days will be long and the nights will be short. Alchemy, Peru came up, Kingdom of God. And then I got a flash to cherry blossoms in the spring. And then the next day, temper your thoughts with a little foresight. The pulse of this movement has many opportunities, and then the saints will come marching in. And just kind of skipping over, some of this is personal, that we reap what we sow, enjoy our harvest as we are worthy of all the good that does come to us when it comes to us. And to do rituals. They told me personally to continue to practice what's called dinacharya, or daily practices or rituals. And then the next day, I was lowered by an umbilical cord. I went to different stratospheres with this cord. I was told things will happen quickly, to be prepared. Ready yourself in our minds, our bodies, and spirits. Those who come to help, be aware of them. That's the message I got before the hurricane, be aware of those who come to help. Let's see. I saw crystallized patterning, like these flashes of like these crystal patterning that were like cellular symbols that I was downloading into my genome, and that it was almost like osmotic learning, and that it was really important to do daily practices, which I've been trying to incorporate more and more. And then I was told there are no accidents. Read the scriptures, the Psalms, be the change you want to see in the world. And then I got red wolf roof rising. And I saw this roof lifting. Things will happen fast. They've been going on for eons. You're in a yellow zone. You're in a warning. I said a warning, and they said yes. So this red roof rising is a book about like vampires who want to like take over humanity, and then someone's trying to save humanity. So interesting. I am not a sci-fi person at all. So when I wrote Red Wolf Roof Rising, I literally Googled it. You can Google it yourself, and it's this sci-fi book. I saw an arc fart in the Akash, and I knew it had some kind of symbolism, and apparently their symbolic meaning is perseverance, adaptability, determination, and digging for hidden truths. And I don't know if you followed the videos since I started doing them in like August. And some of the beginning videos were about before Labor Day I got a flash of child trafficking in Maine on an orange street. And at first I thought it was Portland, and then I was able to dig deeper, and I got a sense it was Lewiston, Maine. I actually called the police and put a report in and said, this came through to me. I got very, very specific information of who was holding these women and children, and that I had the house address. I'm not going to mention it here, but I got the number of the house, names, and what was happening. And this came up for me recently again in the last few days, because I was watching this show about this woman who works with the police when she gets these intuitive hits. And I felt like I pursued it enough back then, and I just needed to let it go. And I actually felt like nothing was going to come of it, whatever I did. But I saw this video, and I went to this lady's website, and I actually contacted her assistant and said, this is something I got. This is not like the work I do. And I don't have any clout behind me, but if you want to take it, here's the information I have. And if it resonates with you, please follow it. I don't get a sense that anything's going to come of it, but I do definitely feel that I was very accurate. Unfortunately, with what came through in reference to that. Let's see. Just trying to skip around. So I was basically told at this part of the Akash, this is the 9th of December, that we can entrain our DNA and we can really work with our DNA to, excuse me, on surrendering. And surrender is, from what I can gather in terms of doing it, where you just so let go of something and get out of the entanglement of it that you're freed of it. And it's not like God fixes it, but when you're aligned with God and you're not aligned with situations through the entanglement, you can step out of it and there'll be a new reality that'll happen. And that we can train ourselves to do that over time. Let's see, a lot of personal stuff, so I apologize. I'm skipping over it. Definitely this theme of like treasure chests have come up for years for me, for the last 10 years, where I'm in water swimming. I find this treasure chest, I'm bringing it up, I'm opening it. And in the past, the water was really dirty. And now lately, in the last several years, the water's been like clean, that I'm swimming in to get this, saving these treasures, and putting them where they rightfully belong back in Egypt. So that happened. And then today a tsunami came up. Is it real? I ask, and they say yes. Prepare for the worst and expect the best. I saw fairies and they corrected me and they said we're gnomes. Italy came up. Harmonious times are coming. Prepare for the Festival of Lights. And there's Festival of Lights here in Asheville. There, Festival of Lights is like metaphoric, but also there's Festival of Lights here at our Arboretum. And I've been thinking of going there. I called in Mother Mary. I was in the clouds. There was fog. I was told it was a temporal place. And then this is so cool. I saw like Santa and the reindeer, and they said that he's real because enough people believe in him, and that our reality is dictated by our imagination. And when we bring something into imagination, as we have with Santa, then there is some creation around him. And the North Pole, there'll be pole shifts, to expect them. The Scandinavian countries came up. I saw this blue cobalt color ball that was like this color therapy that I experienced in the Akash. Then the name John Kane came up. It didn't necessarily seem good or bad. It was just his name, John Kane. Apparently he is a Democrat politician in Pennsylvania. There was like, then it was like Johnny Tremaine from the book, and like his hand was like mangled. I saw this like mangled hand. And I knew I read about Johnny Tremaine as a kid, but I wasn't sure about the story. And it's about, he was part of the American Revolution, which is really interesting. And the book was written in 1943 during World War II. I saw a peace flag and shackles. Some will not be, some of us will not be willing to release the shackles that hold us. And that was frightening. Then I saw a red kite, and then a Bulgarian village, Poland, Auschwitz, Cry of the Wild, no Psalms from the Bible, which is to trust in God. A lot of the Psalms are about trusting in God in every situation. There's a verse, my heart trusts him and he helps me. So much the last few days is about like surrendering and trusting, surrendering to a different reality than the one that we're caught in. And then the Levinites, Leviticus part of the Bible. I'm sorry, I'm not a biblical person, but that word came up, and that I looked up what that was. Leviticus. I don't know. Sorry if you're into the Bible. But what I was told when I looked it up was it's the third book of the Bible where Israel was freed from slavery. So interesting, because I didn't know any of that when I got that information, where I also got the message that some people wouldn't be willing to be released. They were not going to allow themselves to be released from the bondage that's holding them. Iceland, Greenland came up, helicopter moms, like in a positive way. It was just weird. It was kind of like helicopter moms, not a bad thing. Okay, so this is actually why I'm doing this video. French poem from World War II. I was like, what is the French poem from World War II? Well, apparently the message that the French were given around the time of D-Day was encrypted based on a poem, an ancient poem. And they were told basically, when the first 3 verses are told, then you go in, or something to that effect. And the Germans knew this message, but they misinterpreted what it meant, because it was basically the French were given the first 3 verses, but then they were told, wait for the next 3. And the Germans thought, I think it was the original 3 verses, something like that. But it was this French poem was very significant as part of the role the French would play. So that's what I got. French poem, World War II. And then I got the word blitzkrieg. I didn't know, terrible, again, with history and all that. I didn't know what that word meant, blitzkrieg, but basically it is swift offensive warfare. So I got this poem information and this blitzkrieg information together. Then I got the main situation again, cold winter, that we would be held, and that we shouldn't be judgmental of ourselves, that we're doing fine, that we're innocent, and that Jesus is coming. I was given a flower by Jesus, and he said, soon. I'm coming soon. I get these scrolls and these flowers, but I rarely understand the message that's on the scrolls, but this one was specifically soon. Hold on a little longer. Things will shift in a big way soon. So that's it. That's the end of this, is why I'm doing this video today. I hope you enjoyed this Akashic Weather report. If you can extrapolate more information that I missed from what I said, that is wonderful. Please put it in the comments, and share if it resonates with you and you think it'll resonate with another. Have a good day.